At a meeting tonight in East Palestine, an independent expert revealed some damning test results. So the soil samples were taken on May 15th, months after the crash. They were taken from the road next to the tracks. He found what are called dioxins, 1,900 parts per trillion versus 4 parts per trillion on the control sample. Total dioxins, 500,000 versus 1,800 in the control sample taken from nearby neighboring towns. Dioxins are some of the most carcinogenic compounds. It means they're really bad. They cause cancer. These are some of the most dangerous chemicals that can be found anywhere on the planet.
We found in soil versus two controls, dioxin levels anywhere between 27,000% and 164,000% more. There is no doubt that dioxins are a problem in the soil. The absolute worst in East Palestine, and the experts around me, I have never seen anything like this.
So this will certainly come as a huge surprise to the EPA director and Secretary of Transportation, Pete Buttigieg, who constantly told everyone to just go about their daily lives. Sure, move back home despite toxic smoke that filled the air in Ohio.
Well, the biggest thing that's helping the residents on a day-to-day basis right now is the work of the EPA. The EPA is holding Norfolk Southern accountable for the costs of the cleanup and making sure that there is testing of air, of soil, and of water.
We have deployed the highest technologies for air quality monitoring. We've deployed a high-tech airplane. We've got a mobile van over here nearby. We have stationary air monitors as well. We are not receiving any high levels of detection.
Dr. Aly Cohen is here, environmental health specialist, author of Non-Toxic Guide to Living Healthy in a Chemical World, board-certified rheumatologist, among other things. The court, in the commercial break, the court accepted you as an expert on these matters. Put this in plain terms. Should anybody be drinking the water and breathing the air in East Palestine?
Well, let's talk about exposures to begin with. Some pretty heavy-duty chemicals. Dioxins are created by the burning of chlorine, and so you've heard of PCBs in the water, in the oceans, and you've heard of other groups of chemicals. But dioxins in and of themselves are quite toxic. According to the IARC, which is the body of the World Health Organization, they are known carcinogens. I think that's indisputable worldwide. Vinyl chloride also has issues, but vinyl chloride is a gas and it readily evaporates. But dioxins live for quite a while. They are persistent organic pollutants, or POPs as they're called. And they tend to live in soil and remain in soil with very limited ability to break down. In fact, temperatures higher than...
How do we explain this big difference, right, between, hey, no problem, drink the water, breathe the air, on and on and on, and then the explanation you've given, and we have to assume at least that the soil samples are real? It doesn't sound like you'd have your family live there.
Well, it's a pretty sad story, because we now know that not just the acute issues that can come from an exposure such as this, such as, rash and headache and, throat tingling and neurologic issues on the short end, we have long-term risk.
So when the people in East Palestine talk about, hey, we're worried about cancer clusters, we're worried about our kids, on and on and on, they've got some real legitimate gripes or fears.
Absolutely. There are real risks to being in an environment with dioxins, especially at the level that they're finding.
All right, so I just want you to listen to this. This is what, over the past now 3+ months, 5+ months since this train derailment, as we've talked to various people there, take a listen to what they're telling us.
We have to be fearful over the water we drink, over the water we're making formula with, over the water we're bathing in. People's eyes are burning, their skin is burning, people have rashes now.
We're just sitting here waiting. We're sitting ducks waiting to see if we're going to end up with cancer.
We have not drank the water. We're strictly water bottles. We're not even going to risk it. We don't feel safe here.
Should anybody feel safe there?
I think it's a difficult case. I think people should feel very unsure and very worried. And I think given that what we know about the data causing not just cancer risk, we have immunologic issues, we have reproductive health issues, developmental risk issues, pregnant women who are exposed, breastfeeding mothers, reproductive young teens. We have a lot of risk here. So I think that there is some real concern, not just in the short term, but in the long term as we watch how these dioxins play out in their levels.
Thanks for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to subscribe. Click the red button to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.